Welcome once again to a Gaz Labs little video, and today I'm just going to run through the best way to install, or I think the simplest way to install the Havoc firmware to your Portapack, or you can just install the standard way, standard vanilla Portapack firmware. Now then, I did a little video earlier to this show you how to assemble the case using a donor HackRF, which using the little guitar pick and prizing the case open and then putting the whole thing together, which absolutely look really cool. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to talk you through where you get all the prerequisites, and I'm going to show you how to create another bat file and then edit it so that you can actually then really easily install the necessary firmware. Now the first starting point is the ShareBrain Technology web page. Now what I would do here is I would scroll down until reading the content, and it then mentions also the Firtech Havoc firmware there as well. But we're going to scroll down here now to the source code. I'm going to scroll down here until you get to a mention there on the wiki page. Click on the wiki page, and here it will then start talking about installing, updating firmware using Windows. Now I'm using Windows. There are other operating systems available like Mac and Linux and all sorts of things, and I'm sure that if you're running either of those two, you don't need me to help you go any further. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to click on the firmware for Windows, and then you're just going to follow the link here to the project release page, and you quite simply pick your weapon of choice there, whether it be a zip file or exe file. It may be better for you to download the zip. If you're worried about security, you can at least get it onto your desktop and then unzip it in a timely fashion. Or if you're brave like me and you just don't mind downloading the executable, you can do that as well. What I would do is save it to your desktop and then deal with it from your desktop. Now the next thing we're going to want to do is then collect the Portapack Havoc firmware. Now the bin file is the one that is actually already been compiled. There are some pre-compiled, some code that has not been compiled, which is often newer. This is often slightly older, but it's obviously it's been going a little longer, and it tends to be more reliable. There may or may not be bugs in any firmware that you got, because it's open source. It's all kind of on the fly, all happening, so it's all good stuff. So what we're going to need, I'm going to show you where you get this from. You quite simply get this from the Firtech Portapack Havoc firmware GitHub repository. You quite simply click on the firmware, and then you scroll down to the Portapack H1 Havoc.bin. Click on that. It will take you then to the download page. Just click on download, and you'll see that it appears on the left hand side, lower left hand side if you're running Chrome. What I would do at that point is just shrink your window slightly and then just drag that off onto the desktop, okay, and it's ready to roll. And I'd do that the same with this this release. Once you download it, it will appear down here. You can just drag it onto your desktop. That's what I would do. Now then, once you've done that, now I've put all of those files, all the Portapack installer files, in one folder and just called it Portapack H1 installers. You could call it Fred. It doesn't really make any difference as long as you know where you've saved them. Inside there you will find that there's actually a Portapack firmware tool, and you will just simply double click on that. Now you've heard the computer there, it's just moaning. It's asking me to provide account permissions. And then it will ask you then to agree with the license. Well, in both cases I'm going to agree. Now at this point it appears that it hasn't done anything. Well, it has. Okay, what it's done is it's installed a folder in your local disk program files under Portapack, and you'll find that all of the files here will appear there. So what we're going to do at this stage, we're going to take our havoc.bin file and we're going to drag it to this this folder, and it's going to moan again. It's going to want us to give permission, and we're going to say yes, okay, fine. Now at this point, okay, we're going to want to copy one of these two batch files or bat files. Now I'm going to pick on the PortaPack one, and I'm just simply going to copy it, okay, and then I'm going to paste it back, okay, and it will create a copy for me, and there we have it, it's there. And now I'm going to click on it slowly. You may need to click on it a couple of times very slowly, and so that you can actually edit the name, or you can right mouse click on it and then just simply say rename. Okay, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to just colour up to that part there and then put Havoc. Okay, so now we've quite simply now got a batch file there called .bat /_ Now the trouble is, at this point we're probably not going to be able to edit it very easily, because it's going to want all sorts of permissions to do it, and it probably won't let you save. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down to the bottom on Windows 10. It's really easy on Windows 10, and you quite simply click on the search bar there and then type in Notepad. On the Notepad app, as it piles up in the top left hand side there, we're going to click on that and then say run as admin. It will ask you, are you sure you want to run this as admin? You're going to say yes. At this point here, we can then click on file, and then we're going to say open. Okay, we're then going to navigate using the file, the menu tree, to local disk, program files, PortaPack, and you'll notice that it can't see anything. Well, down the bottom here you'll see that it's set for text files. We want all files. Now down here we're going to scroll down to the file that we've just renamed, which was /_ and we're going to just double click on that. Now at this point we're going to try and square these up so that we can actually see what we're doing. We're going to go to the havoc.bin file here, and we're just going to just click on it twice, okay, very slowly, and we're going to copy the name, okay, out of it, and we're going to just say copy. Then we're going to go back here and we're going to just look down until we see this, okay, the PortaPack H1 firmware, okay, and I'm going to colour that up, and then I'm going to right mouse click on it and then just say paste, and you'll see now it says PortaPack H1 Havoc. Okay, so now we're going to just simply say save, and that is the hard bit done. Now at this point we're then going to just move on up to the /_ file, and we're going to double click on it, and you'll see a really scary black box will appear. It's quite small, sorry I can't make it much bigger, and it's now going to ask you to connect your HackRF One to the USB port on your computer. If you're using a PortaPack, put the PortaPack in HackRF mode. Well, if it's a new thing, it's probably already likely to be in that mode. If you've got an older version of, say, the PortaPack firmware, make sure you just scroll through the menu and then set it for HackRF, and then this will work. And then it will say press any key to continue. Now I've already plugged mine into the USB port and it's ready to go. So I'm just going to hit the space bar. Now I'm going to do this real time, so if it goes wrong, it goes wrong. So I'm going to click the space bar, and it says, oh, there you go, look, it's found it. So it says basically it's actually found the device. There's none in DFU mode, it's found one in HackRF mode, and it's found one existing HackRF firmware version. It's erased it, it's written a new firmware, and it's finished. Scary stuff. So at this point, okay, please disconnect and reconnect your HackRF. So at this point we can then just say, I think we can just press spacebar and it will disappear. Now if I've done this right, now I'm not going to be able to show you this, I don't think, but let me just try. And did it work? Yes, that's it, it's actually working. So I don't know if I can what I'll do is I'll try and cut to a video now just to show you what is actually come up on the screen for me here, but this has actually worked absolutely fine. All I've done is restarted the actual PortaPack, and it's up and running, and I now have the Havoc firmware installed. So let's have a quick look and see what's on the Havoc firmware. Okay, so we can now see that I've got the Havoc firmware installed. It's a little bit difficult for me to do this, but I'll try. You can see that. You'll notice that the Havoc firmware is running, and all I've done is I rebooted it, and I just simply pressed along the side here. There's actually two buttons. I've just pressed that one there, and that basically reboots the actual device. Okay, and then this will then pop up. So once you've installed the firmware, okay, it will come up with a black screen. You simply press that button, and then it will boot into this. Now at this point you'll see that there's just a screen there, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to then sort of mess around with this sort of button here, and all I've done is I've pressed the center. Now you'll see here, I don't know if you can see this, it's a bit difficult. You'll see that there's actually some different modes on there. Play dead is actually one that you should avoid until you've read the documentation, because what that does is it actually locks the device, and you need to do a key like a button press. I think it's up and down, left and right, or something like that to unlock it, but it's all in the documentation. But now you can scroll down through the different things, and there's some really cool things in there. You got things like transmitters, and it will go into, you know, Morse code and all sorts of things, POC/SAG, and I don't know, all sorts of stuff. Really worthwhile having a little look. Anyway, this was really only intended just to get you so you could get to this stage, because I've had quite a few people that can't manage this this part, so I'm just trying to make things as easy as I can for people. Give me a shout if you think it was if you found it useful. Do give a thumbs up, or if you really must, give a thumbs down, but you know, that's not so nice, but you know, it's all helps. If you want to put some comments in, and please do. If I've made some, you know, mistakes or something like that, give us a shout. Let me know what I did and what I can do better. And don't forget to subscribe. It always makes me feel good that someone enjoyed or enough to subscribe. So thanks again for watching. See you again very soon.